Hi everyone, I'm back again with the decorating of our envelope flip today. Hopefully we'll get it finished. If not, if it's this bit takes a little bit more time because we're adding some more intricate details. So I may even split this video into two. We'll see how we go. So I have just grabbed some of my stamps relating to postage or numbers, that sort of thing. My favorite stamp, lots of labels, and the global postmarks. These are all from Darkroom Door and available in my shop, so I will put the link down below. And also the good old Field Notes stamp from Tim Holtz. I think I've sold out of these. Mine have all come unstuck from the plastic, so hence why they're in a plastic bag, just so I don't lose all the bits and pieces. So today we're just going to, as I said, put some finishing touches to and decorations to this little flip. I've got all my bits and pieces off to the side here. I'm going to try and keep everything off my desk. That's easier said than done. So let's just get started, and we might even just start with this first piece here. So I'm just going to add just a decorative element here basically. So I just want to find a scrap of paper, Tim Holtz paper, to add into that. And I'm just going to grab a couple that I've got here to the side. We'll just see what we've got. These are just a few bits. Okay, so maybe I want to add a stamp on top of there as well. So maybe I need to have a look at my stamps and see the size of those before I cut a backing piece. So many choices, isn't there? I might just see if I've got another one of his stamp set as well. I'll be right back. So I did just grab my postcard stamp as well, and I've got some other of his stamps here. I think this is what I'm looking at. See, I don't know if anyone else has any problems like this. Mine just keep falling off the backing piece, so it's a little bit frustrating, but anyway, we'll just work with it. Not sure whether there's anything that I want. Maybe that one. See, that's even come off. Might be because of the heat here as well. It's so hot down here in this room. We've never had an issue with them before coming off like that, but I might even use that one, I think. Okay, so I'm just got a scrap of a coffee dyed card here. I'm going to stamp this onto that. Now, as I've said previously, I'm making blue, red, and brown a feature in this little flip. So I'm going to get, sorry guys, I thought I was organized. So my blue, I'm just using Cobalt Archival and Vermilion in the red and Coffee in the Archival as well. So they're the ones, they're the colors that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to stamp this in red because it's going to go on to the blue piece there. Now, at the moment, it doesn't matter if this isn't stamped straight because I can cut it out to suit. So I'm just going to stamp this. I don't know, I may not like this. I may go back to one of the other stamps, but we'll just run with this one for the time being. It's really quite crooked, isn't it? Just rubbing that little bit of ink off there. Okay, so that's a little bit better. And I'm just going to cut that away. Actually, I'm going to use my little cutter so that I can get a straight edge to work with. Okay, so it's a bit crooked, but it'll be fine. I'm not going to stress about it because otherwise I won't get it done. So I'm going to match this onto some red cardstock, and I'm just using the red that I've been using throughout this flip, and I am just going to rough this up a little bit so you won't notice it's quite as crooked once it's all roughed up. Got these brads with, oh, these are so old, I've had them for years, with the they look like screw heads, so I'm going to use those, and I'm going to put it through this before I actually adhere it onto the front here. So I just need my awl or something. Put everything away where it should be and I can't find anything. So I'm just going to make pre-poke my holes, and I'm just eyeballing it, just making it pretty much in the center. And then I'm just going to glue that down with some art glitter glue. Just right in the center of that blue piece there. And just going to glue that down, just wipe away any excess glue. And that's our first bit of decorating. So I love this part when you see it all starting to come together. Okay, so we need to make something to go in this little pocket. Now, I'm going to make it, it's really only a decorative piece. You can make it so that you can put some journaling in there as well if you like. It's just lifting up a bit. And it's a little bit of an odd shape because it slants that way. So I'm just going to measure just approximately, I want it to say, let's make it 5 1/4 high by 1.5 inches. So 5.25 high by 1.5 inches wide, so that'll fit in there nicely. Just thinking how much glue I've got on this back part here. You need to probably make it 1.25 inches, I think. Okay, so I'm just going to find a scrap to go in there. I'm just having a look through what I've got in this flip. So I really don't have any of that yellow. I'm thinking I might use this and just have that airmail piece there. Okay, so that's 1.25 wide, and we need 5.25 high. So if we go about there, and we get that in there pretty perfectly. So that'll fit in there nicely. I'm going to put a tab on that somewhere here. So this is all going to be really bits and pieces of scraps, and I mean it all ties in, same sort of colorways and everything. So I'm just thinking I might want some red poking out here, something with red on it, or actually I might stamp like similar to what I did on the other ones. I might stamp some stamps and use those as tabs. So I'm just going to put on the back of here though a little bit of something red. I've just got a container of all sorts of scraps over here beside me. That's why I'm messing around trying to find some bits and pieces. I'm just going to put a little bit of cheesecloth and a partial label on here. And this is from the Lots of Labels stamp from Darkroom Door that I've stamped this just on a scrap of coffee dye cardstock. I do that a lot when I have been creating and I have bits and pieces left over. I tend to grab that stamp for the most part and stamp the labels because you can use them on anything. And then I'll keep this because I'll utilize it as well. So I'm going to get a piece of cheesecloth. I've got way more there than what I need. Excuse me, but I will just pull away any extra once the glue dries. And I'm just going to rough around the edge here as well. So I'm just going to let that dry, and then I'm going to stamp something here to put a tab there, just so that whoever gets this knows that there is something in there. And I think I'm going to stamp a couple of around I think I'll do a couple of round post marks, and I'm going to stamp them in red, and I'm just going to do them on some coffee dyed scraps. I'm just doing the same for front and back, just so that I know they're both exactly the same size. And I don't know whether I've got a punch, so I didn't think of that. I'm going to have to cut them out by hand. Hopefully I don't make them look too dodgy, but the fact that I am roughing the edges up is good. So I'm just pulling away the excess cheesecloth there, because I definitely don't need all that. And I keep this because I use it under different bits and pieces. So it's not, I'm not really wasting it. I could have probably been a little bit more careful with how much that I did actually cut, but as I said, I use it all anyway. And this tab might be a little bit too big. It could have been a little bit smaller. Maybe should have used one of the smaller circles, but I think it will be all right. So it just adds another element there. And then it just shows that there's a little piece in there. So that's quite cute. I just don't want to tug on that tab too much because the glue's still adhering, so. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to put a tiny little pocket here and just put some stamped elements. So I just need, I think, something, again, red. Might do some ticking. I'm just cutting these darker sides off because I don't particularly want them on the front here. I'm just going to do there and there. So this pocket is approximately 2 inches by almost 2¼ and once again this will all depend on the size of your envelopes that you're using. I think I'm actually going to mash that with some red cardstock just to make that pop a little bit more. So the distressing, actually now I'm just thinking, no, I'm not going to make that a pocket on the front as well. The distressing and the inking takes that little bit more time, but I really think that it adds a really nice texture and a really nice look to the project. But if you don't like that look, or you finding that it's taking too much time and you don't want to waste that much time or spend that much time doing that, you can just leave it all flat if you like. I'll end up decorating the front of this as well. So I'm just going to eyeball around this square, and I hope it's just not too wide now. Just fits. Okay. Once we rough it up too, it sort of will bring the size down a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to glue that down on 3 sides. I'm making that a little pocket just to put some little elements in there. I just don't want to glue that cheesecloth down from that little tag. So we have a little pocket there now. Okay, we'll go back through and add into the pockets and that. I think what I might do is just go around and add the pockets, will I? Actually, no, I think I might just decorate this pocket and then we'll go back and we'll add bits and pieces to go inside the pockets. So I'm just going to probably stamp, let me think. I think I'm going to put special delivery and I'll stamp that in blue. So basically what I'm doing is adding, so if I've got red there, I'm stamping it in blue. If I had blue there, I'd stamp it in red. I've got blue here, so I've made red a feature there, just to sort of mix it up a little bit. So I'll do that on some coffee dyed scrap again and in blue. So I've just glued that down, and as I said, this is a pocket. I'll go through, we'll come back again later and we'll stamp some and make some bits and pieces to go in all the pockets. So I think what we'll do is we'll just sort of add the pockets and the few bits of tabs and that maybe we need to add in. So I'm going to add a tab here, and I think I'm going to do it the same as this ticking. Actually, I think I'm going to do it with the plain red. Change my mind. And rough that up a little bit as well. I'm going to put it pretty much in the center, and I'm going to just eyeball that. See, I've made my pocket a little bit bigger, but I think once I glue that down, it's not going to worry what's in there. So I'm going to glue that in place, and then I'll add an eyelet to this down the track, so that will act as the closure. Okay, so it's starting to come together now. All right, so we have a pocket here, so we will make something for that down the track. So I just want to make sure I've got all my pockets and that in place that I want to have. Okay, so I need to add a closure of some sort here. And I'm going to do the document closure. So I found these, I'm doing it the cheat way. I found these little eyelet string stickers at our local Officeworks quite some time ago, and I purchased a couple of packets, and that's what I'm going to use for the closures. So you can make these yourself, and I do normally make them myself, but I've had these sitting here for quite some time, and I just thought I need to use them up. So they're pre-done, so that's what I'm going to do. I am actually going to back them with a bit of cardstock though, because I don't want just that sitting on there. So I just need to find a round circle punch that's a little bit bigger, so that's probably not too bad. That's 1 1/4. That's probably a little bit too big maybe. Okay, we're going to go with the 1 1/4 punch, and I think I want to put a little bit of blue underneath it. Maybe something a little bit lighter. Let's have a look at that. So I'm obviously going to need 2. And I'm going to rough them up again. So basically this is just going to be a base, just to add a little bit of color underneath the black. And then I'll show you how. All I'm doing is I'm just going to glue it down really well. So what I might even do is just get these glued down first and put them aside to dry for a second, well, for a few minutes, and then I'll attach them to the project. I just don't want to be, once I've glued these down, I don't want them to be moving. So anyway, I'll explain what I mean in a minute. So I will just quickly rough these up and ink these. Okay, so these are sticky. That's why they're on acetate. You can tell I've had them for a while because they're actually sticking too well to the acetate. So I'm going to stick it down there. Now they have two layers. You can see here a layer where the thread goes through. So this bit we can just stick down. I am going to add some extra glue just to make sure that it's not going to come apart, because this does take a little bit of pressure being opened and closed, and once the little flip book gets a little bit bulky, it becomes a pressure point. So I'm just going to add that onto my round that I just did. Just try and put it in the center. And I'm just going to pop that aside. And then this part here with the string, I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to add some glue and then pop it on the circle that I punched. So this is a quick way of doing these document closures if you don't particularly like making them. I know when I first started making them, they stressed me out a little bit. I don't know why, that's just me. But when I saw these, I just thought, oh, well, they'll be a quick fix if I'm in a hurry and I just want one and don't have to make it up. Okay, so I'm just going to pop them to the side, just let them dry a little bit. And then we're going to work on doing something here. So just for the sake of having a look at it, so this is a pocket, so we'll make something to put in there later. But I just want to add something here, maybe a label or something. We've got a lot of red happening here. Maybe if I mat a red label in with blue. Let's try that. Okay, so I'm going to use my Lots of Labels stamp. And maybe, okay, that's a little bit too big. Maybe we'll do that. And if we stamp it in red and mat it in blue, I think, yes. Maybe some coffee dot scrap might help. Okay. Just love those labels and how they stamp, they're amazing. Okay, so I'm going to cut that out and then mat it on blue. Puts a pop of colour on there without it being too plain. We could stamp number or something on that. We may even do that down the track. So I'm just going to leave that as that. I am even thinking of making this a little tuck, which I think I will do, just to add some other little elements in there. So I'm just going to glue 3 sides basically, and we're just going to stick that down. Okay, so it's been long enough now too, we can even stick these down in place, and that will give us our closures. So once again, I'm just eyeballing this, and I'm pretty much going to, hopefully my head's not in the way. I'm just going to line it up with this tab so it's not sort of sitting down here or whatever. So it's sort of pretty much in line with that. Okay, so I'm going to put this one down on the left and the one with the string on the right. No particular reason, just because that's how my head works and that feels right for me. Okay, and that's it. How easy is that? Just a document closure. It's already done. I haven't seen them again in Officeworks, but I'm probably pretty sure they're probably something that they have quite regularly. And then I'm just going to put this one on this pocket. Need to pop this up so I can line it up a little bit. and then that acts as the closure. So it just slips, the string just slips underneath that top layer. I'm not going to do it fully now, but you get the idea, just because I want that to adhere properly. But that's acts as a closure for that. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. Now I can even, and I may still do that, I can even change this cord up. I've got some nice red and white cord there. I could cut this out and add my own cord if I wanted to, but I'll have a look at that down the track. I could even just run this through, might have to add some more ink, run this through, the cord through my thing that I use to, my felt, I don't even know what you call it, what do you call it? Sponge that I use to ink, and make it a little bit dirty looking. Okay, I lost audio there, guys, sorry. So what I'm going to do here is just have a look. I think I'm going to make a little cluster to go down on this pocket on the left here. I'm thinking I might finish this video up for today, since we've lost audio for whatever reason. I'm just doing a voiceover now, so I hope you're enjoying this so far. I'll come back tomorrow with the next part of the video, and hopefully that might be the last part. We'll see how we go. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and until next time, I hope you get a little bit of crafting time in. See you soon.